Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about user management in Databricks. We are going to create some new users, service principal and groups, and we are going to assign some permissions for them in order to work with Databricks. Now, before we can start with this, if you remember our video where we discussed about Unity Catalog, we discussed there is a central system called Account Console where we can manage all our users, and we can use the same Account Console in order to manage different workspaces as well. And today we are going to use that same account console in order to work with user management. So before we can proceed with this, you need three access. First one is a cloud admin access in order to create users. The second one is account admin access in order to manage them in Databricks. And the third one is a workspace admin access that you will use in order to provide different permissions to users that you assign to a particular workspace. Now, we will see all of this with examples. So if you are confused right now, don't worry about it. We are going to do a full demonstration how you can create and assign users to Databricks. Now, before we can start with this, if you have not seen our previous video, go ahead and click the I button at the top. So without any further delay, let's begin. Now, the first part of the user management is to create users and service principals. We are going to discuss about service principals later. First, let's deal with users. So in order to create new users, first we need to log in into Azure portal. So I'm already logged in into my Azure portal and we'll go into Microsoft Entra Id. Now, once you are into the Microsoft Entra ID, the first thing that you need to do is you need to add an user. So in order to do that, click the add button and click on user and create new user. Now, you need to provide a principal name and the domain. Since this is my personal account, so you'll see a different type of domain. But consider you are part of an organization xyz.com. In that case, your domain name would be xyz.com and the principal would be the name that you provide. Let's create a user which is data analyst. So for that, I'll just give the principal name as DA. Okay. Now I'll just scroll down and I'll provide the display name as data analyst. Okay. And I'm not going to create an auto-generated password. Rather, I'll provide a password here. So make sure that you remember this password. Once this is done, make sure that your account enabled checkbox is ticked. Okay. Just click on review and create and just click on create. Once you do that, the user is created. Click on the user on the left hand side. Now you should be able to see the user that you created, which is data analyst. So I'm going to create more users, but for now, I'll just show you one user as an example. Now, once this user is created, the next thing that we need to do is we need to get into Databricks Account Console in order to add this user. I am in my Databricks Account Console. Now, in order to add that user that we created in our Azure portal, we need to go into user management on the left hand side. Once you are onto this page, you will see three tabs here: user, service principal, and group. User are something which are like normal user who would log in and work into Databricks. Service principals are something which are being used for automations. Those are majorly robot accounts. It means those can be used for automations, running jobs or applications. Okay. And we are going to create service principal next. The third is the most important, which is the groups. Now you can combine similar type of users into a group. Okay. Now the first thing that we are going to do is once we have created our data analyst user, we need to add that user. Okay. So I'll just click on add user and I'm going to provide the email. The email is the same user principal that we provided for data analyst. So I'll quickly go back to my Azure portal. I'll get into data analyst and I'll copy this user principal name. Now, if you're tied to a company, this would be probably your email ID. Okay. Now I'll quickly go back to account console and I'll paste it here. Okay. And now I'll provide the name, which will be same as data analyst. Okay. I'll just click on add user. Once I do this, you can see the user is added. Okay. Now, if you see, this is a manual process of adding users which are created in your Azure portal. Databricks provides you with a fantastic tool which we call as SCIM. Okay. So you can go into settings and if you go into user provisioning, you can see SCIM setting. Now, you can use this setting in order to auto provision the users that you create in your Azure portal. It means once you create a user in your Azure portal and once you have your SCIM setting done, automatically those users would be provisioned into your user management. You don't need to do this manual process of adding users, but I'm not going to add SCIM setting in this lecture. However, I will show you a documentation which you can use in order to do that. This is the document that you can use in order to configure your SCIM with Microsoft Entra Id. And once you create a new user in Microsoft Entra Id, automatically that user would be available in your user management. For now, we have added that user manually. Okay. Now, once this user is added, I'll just click on this user and I'll click on roles. Now, if you see, there are multiple roles that we can assign. We can make this user as account admin. We can make user as marketplace admin or billing admin. Now, all of these roles are admin roles. We don't want a data analyst to be admin. So I'm not going to enable any of the box here. Okay. Let's just go back to the users tab. Now let's create a group where we'll create a group for data analyst and we'll add this user. Okay, so I'll just go back to groups and I'll click on add group, and I'm going to give a group called DAGRP, which is for data analyst group. So if I create any more users which are data analyst and all of them require same privilege, so I'll just add them to the same group. Okay, so I'll just click on save. Once this group is created, let me just add the members. I'll click on add members and I'll select that data analyst. So I'll just type DA and you can see that data analyst here, right? Just click on that and just click on add. Now that particular user is part of this DA group. Okay, and we can manage the permission on top of this group. All of the privileges will by default be available for this particular user. Okay, so let me just go back to the group information and you can see the group name here, and in the permissions tab you can see the person who can manage this group. So this is for my ease with data user who is the admin, right? So this particular user can manage this group. So this is all good. Let's go back to groups. Now remember, rather than providing individual users access, it is always a good practice to create groups and provide groups those access. Okay, for now we have not provided any access. We just created group and we assigned the member. Now let's just use our data analyst user in order to log in into the workspace. Now I have opened a new tab in Firefox browser. I'm gonna log in into our Databricks workspace. So I'll just open the workspace ID that we have, and now you can see we have to log in using Microsoft Entra ID. So I'll just click on this, and now we are going to use the same user that we created. So I'll quickly go back to my Azure portal and I'm going to copy this user principal name. Okay, once I'm back in my Firefox, I'm just going to paste it here and I'm going to click on next. Now we need to provide the password that we set. So I'll just provide that password here and I'll click on sign in. Now once I do that, it would ask me to update the password. So I'll reset the password again. I'll just click on sign in. And for now, I'll not set up authenticator. I'll just click on ask later and I'll click on yes. And now if you see, it is trying to log in us into our workspace, right? Okay, now if you see, it has failed. It says we do not have permission to that particular workspace. This is because we have just added the user to the account, but we have not assigned that particular user to the workspace. Let's go ahead and do that. For that, we'll quickly go back to the account page again. Now I am in my account console. So I'll quickly go back to the workspaces and I'm going to click on workspace and I'm going to click on permissions. Now we are going to add that particular user that we created. Now remember, we have also created group. So there are two ways to do it. Either we add the group where all the users part of that group will be automatically added to this workspace, or we have to do it manually one by one per user. So the better way is to add the group. So I'm going to click on add permissions and I'm going to search that group, which is DA group. And now I have two permissions. Either I can make all of the members of this group as normal user, or I can make all of them as workspace admin. Now I don't want them as admin. I only want them as user. So I'll let it be user. I'll just click on save. Now you can see that group has been added here, right? And the permission is user. Now if I click on this, you can again see edit button where you can just go ahead and edit the role for that particular group. I'm not going to change anything and I'm just going to switch back to my Firefox browser. And now I'm going to refresh this page. Okay, now you can see even if we refresh, we are not able to get into the workspace. The reason is we have added this user or this group to this workspace, but we have not defined what type of access is required for this group or this user. Now, in order to do that, we have to get into our workspace and assign this user particular access. Okay, so I'll quickly go back to my workspace. Okay, now I'm logged in into my workspace and I am a workspace admin. Means I can control anything within this workspace. So I'll quickly click on this profile icon on the top right and I'll go to settings. Now, once I am in this setting, I'll click on identity and access. Once I do that, you can see now I can manage users, groups, and service principals on the workspace level. So I'll quickly go and click on manage for groups. Now you can see the group that we created in our account admin, right? So this is the DA group. So I'll click on this three dot and I'll click on edit. Okay, now this group is available here and you can see the members. But if I click on entitlement, you can see we have not assigned any permission to this particular group. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll give them workspace access. Okay, so I'll click on workspace access as enabled. Now by default, workspace access means you should be able to access the data engineering and the machine learning stuff. Okay, but you'll not be able to create any cluster and you'll not have Databricks SQL access, which is basically used for SQL warehouses. Okay, so once we have done this, let me just quickly go back to Firefox. Now, before we refresh, we just need to wait for a minute in order to allow the permissions to sync in. And now if you see, once we refreshed, you can see a message saying, welcome to Databricks. So your user is now have access to Databricks. But on the left hand side, if you see, we have enabled stuff for data engineering. So I scroll down for machine learning, but all of this for SQL is grayed out and locked. right? So this is all for SQL warehouses, but we have not given access to this user for the SQL warehouses. But wait, our group or the user that we are using is data analyst. It means they require access for SQL, but not for this particular machine learning and data engineering stuff. So let me quickly go back to Workspace again. And now I'll just enable Databricks SQL access and I'll remove Workspace access. We are still not providing them access to create clusters. Okay, so let's just wait for a minute for the permissions to sink in. And now let's refresh our Firefox browser. Awesome. Now if you see on the left hand side, our SQL tab is enabled. You have access to all of the data warehousing stuff, but you can see the workflows and the computes are grayed out. It means you will no longer have access to machine learning and data engineering stuff. So if I scroll down, you can see data engineering is all locked out, plus machine learning is also locked out. So now you understand how you can provide different users different access. So I'm going to create a similar user called data engineer and a group called data engineering, for which I'll only provide access to data engineering and machine learning stuff, and I'll not give access for SQL. Okay. So as a part of this training, your job is also to create similar user and a group called DE group for that same purpose. Great. We have successfully created a user called data analyst, and you can go ahead and create one more user called data engineer, and we are going to use both of them in our future sessions. Now we are going to create a robot account, which is also known as service principal. So service principals are generally used to run jobs and do automation stuff. Now you can create two types of service principals in Databricks. Once you click on this add service principal button, you get two options. One is Databricks managed and the other one is Microsoft Entra Id managed. Okay, so let's just create one for Databricks managed. So I'll just name the service principal as ease with data DB for Databricks and SP for service principal. Okay, I'll just click on add. Once I do this, you can see a service principal created. Now we can use this particular service principles in order to do automation in our Databricks, or you can go ahead and use this to run jobs. It is a good practice to always use service principal in order to run your jobs, because a user might leave your organization in between. And if a user is a owner of a job, or if a user account is being used to run that job, you will be locked out once the user leaves, right? So it is always recommended to create a robot account, which is also known as service principal, and use service principals in order to run or manage automated jobs. Now let's go ahead and create one service principal which is backed by Azure. So I'll quickly go back to my Azure portal and I'll again go back to Microsoft Entra Id. Once I'm here, I'll scroll down and I'll search for app registrations on the left hand side. I'll click on that and I'm going to click on new registration. And I'm going to name this as ease with data hyphen Azure hyphen SP. Okay. And I'm going to click on register. Once this is done, you'll get something called application client ID and the display name here. And we need both of this in order to work with Databricks. So I'll quickly go back to my account console and I'll click on add service principal. And this time I'll select Microsoft Entra ID managed. Now I need to provide the application ID. So I'll just go back to Azure portal and copy that. You can see the application ID here. Just click on copy and I'll paste it here. And again, I'll go back and copy the service principal name and I'll paste it here. Once this is done, I'll click on add. Once I do this, you can see the Azure service principal also available here. Right? Now you understand how you can create service principal. Let's go ahead and assign them for our workspace. To do that, I'll quickly go back to workspaces. I'll select the workspace. I'll go to permissions tab. I'll click on add permission and I'm going to search ease with data. You can see both of the service principal available. Let me just add the Azure one first. I'll make sure the service principal is a user, not an admin. And again, search for ease with data and I'm going to select the Databricks service principal now and I'm going to click on save. Great. Now you can see both of the service principal added. Okay. Let me quickly go back to our workspace now. And now in my workspace, I'll quickly go back to identity and access. And if I go to service principals, if I click on this manage tab, you can see both of the service principal added. And now you can go ahead and use this service principals in order to run your jobs. Okay. Now, in order to assign them permissions, you can just click on this three dot. You can click on edit. And now you can define different type of entitlements for them. You can allow them workspace access. You can allow them Databricks SQL access. You can allow them to create clusters. So let me just check all three for this particular service principal and click on update. The next thing that we'll do is we'll quickly go back to permissions and we'll make sure that the ease data user, who is currently the manager who can manage the service principal, can also use them. Okay. So in order to make sure that the ease data user can use the service principal as well, you just have to click on this three dot, click on edit and make sure you add user permission as well. Okay. And just click on save. Once this is done, the ease data user now can manage and also can assign this particular service principal as user. Okay. So let's quickly go back to workflows. and we'll click on DLT pipeline trigger. And now if you can see here, is data user is being used as run as. Let's change this to service principal. So I click on this pencil button and I'll search for ease with data, which is the Azure SP. I'll just select on this and I'll click on save. Once I do that, now you can see the Azure SP is now as run as. It means now you can use this particular service principal to run your jobs. You don't have to rely on the ease data user. Even if the user leaves the organization, you can still run this job using this particular service principal. And this is where the service principals are so much useful. Again, you can use the service principals in order to run automations and also CI/CD pipelines. You can use them in order to interact using Databricks CLIs or APIs. And we are going to see all of them later in our course. And this is where service principals are so useful. Now, before we wrap up, let me show you one more thing. So, Ease Data User is a workspace admin. So, if I click on this top profile button, if I click on settings, you can see all of this workspace admin setting enabled for the Ease Data User because it's a workspace admin user. Now, if you remember the data analyst user that we created, let me just go back to Firefox. And now if I click on the top profile button here, if I click on setting, you can see none of the workspace admin setting is available for this user because this is a normal user who does not have admin access. And this is where the normal user and the workspace admin are different. Okay. So now you understand how users are managed in Unity Catalog using Account Console. So it is very important that you don't create users or groups or service principals at the workspace level. Rather, you need to create users, service principals, and group at the account level and assign them properly to particular workspaces using permissions tab. There is one more best practice is to create the users and the groups at the Entra ID level and use the SCIM setting in order to provision the users and the groups automatically so that your cloud admin can directly manage it through the Azure portal rather than managing users at the account level. Now, once the users are available in your user management, you can just go ahead and assign them to particular workspaces. So that is how there are different ways you can manage users in Databricks. And I hope you understood all of them today. In our next video, we are going to work with more permissions in Unity Catalog. But before that video, it is a recommendation that you go ahead and create the data engineer user as well. That was all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep sharing.